All right, for these next couple of examples, we are taking and we're filling, and these are sometimes called a box diagram. This shows how electrons are assigned in an atom. It's one of a few different ways that we can show how they're assigned. And the most important thing to figure out first for a box diagram is to look at the periodic table and figure out how many electrons. And so for a neutral nitrogen atom, it has 7 electrons. I'm going to go ahead and write that here to remind myself that it has 7 electrons. And I go and I fill these boxes up in a really specific way. So I start at the bottom box and I put 1 electron in with the arrow pointing up. I put the second electron in with the arrow pointing down. Now electrons 3 and 4. And then here's where it gets interesting. For the remaining 3 electrons, any level where I have multiple boxes across that level, I put up electrons in all 3 boxes before I put any down electrons. So 1, 2, 3. And a little bit later when we're talking about numbers of unpaired electrons, that's what we're going to get at here. We have these 3 electrons pointing up with no electrons pointing down within those same boxes. But we'll talk about that in detail in a later problem. Then when we go to something like manganese, it's not much more complicated actually. It's more electrons. It takes a minute or so longer, but the plan for what we're going to do is going to be the same. So figure out how many total electrons the atom has, and then go about putting them in. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 of the electrons that I've placed. I'll do this so I don't lose my count. So I have 15 still to place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I used 10 more of them to fill up those boxes, so I'm left with 5. So at this point I have these 5 boxes and I have 5 electrons. And it's going to be the same rules. When I have a set of boxes that are all the same height, so this set here, I'm going to put 1 electron in each box before I put any electrons down. I'll put 1 electron up in each box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and what does that tell me now? I've used up all of my electrons, and I've assigned them all to the boxes. And this will be more important when we get over to talking about magnetism, how many unpaired electrons these different atoms have.